What's going on today, guys, and welcome to Eddie Studios. If you've been watching me for the last year and a half or so, you've noticed that I have shot a lot of stuff with the DJI Pocket 2, and this video is no different. I want to talk about if the Osmo Pocket 2 is worth buying in 2022. And I'm going to give you some examples of what I think is awesome about this thing, and I'll give you some examples of why it may or may not be awesome. Some of those might cross over one another, like why it would be awesome for me for it to have a feature, but it might not be awesome for you to have a feature. So we'll see who this camera's for, and if it is for you, is this camera worth buying in 2022? We'll talk about that at the very end, and there might be a little added incentive to make it more worth buying right now than ever before. And you might not know about this yet. So stick around till the end to find out more about that. All right, guys, so first and foremost, this camera is a pocket-sized tiny gimbal. It fits right in your pocket, but it has all the features of a gimbal that you would put your camera on top of or you mount your phone to, things like that. And that being said, it is smaller width-wise than my cell phone. It's about half the width of this cell phone and about the exact same height. That is with the do-it-all handle on it, which we'll talk about in a second. And it has a gimbal built onto it. That could be good or bad for you. Do you want a gimbal? If you want a gimbal and you don't have a camera already, it's probably a good solution because it gives you a gimbal and a camera. Now, you could get a gimbal for your phone, but you're talking about a lot larger of a situation if you're putting a phone on a gimbal. You're like, well, my phone has a good camera on it, this and that, and it probably does. Most newer phones do have a really good camera on it. This camera is awesome. I'm shooting in the D-Cinelike profile right now, and I'll show you what it is with no color, and we'll color grade it now. And so it gives you a little bit of an option to play with it because it shoots in a flat profile. Most phones don't have that option. When you're doing cinematography stuff, it's nice to have a flat profile so you can color grade in post. My personal opinion. All right, so gimbals are a little limiting in the fact that you are limited by, I'm going to just move around real quick, the movement of the gimbal moving around, how it moves. Versus if I'm trying to do some of my more stylized B-roll where I like to throw the transitions into my movement, some of those transitions are way easier to get in just a handheld mode without using a gimbal. So it depends what I'm trying to shoot. Like if I'm trying to do a whip transition, it's harder to do with a gimbal because it tries to follow slower than I would want it to get that real nice motion blur for that whip. And sometimes when you whip a gimbal real fast, it screws it all up. And even with these little ones, it does that. You can reset that afterwards. But that being said, some people don't want a gimbal. But if you are looking for a gimbal and you don't have a camera already to add a gimbal to and just buy a gimbal for, this might be the solution for you. Another thing, this wireless microphone is awesome. It is well worth at least 150 bucks if you were to get a wireless microphone that's of this quality for something else like a phone or another camera you may already have. It comes with this with the creator combo kit, or you can buy it separately for around that $150 mark. And now when you buy it separately, it also adds the do-it-all handle, which adds a microphone port in it. And there's something special about this microphone port that no one is talking about, but it's super important depending on what you're using this camera for. And it allows you to connect wirelessly to your phone, making it so your phone is not only a wireless monitor for it, you fully control it from your phone as well, and you can transfer the videos or photos to your phone super easily. And it's a very fast transfer. I will transfer multiple gigs of data over to it from my Pocket 2 wirelessly in like minutes. The little microphone jack on it, it allows you to connect a microphone to it if you want to do that. Mind you, you can also connect a microphone to this wireless guy, and you could do like a boom mic with it and then create like a boom if you're doing little videography stuff. The headphone jack and microphone jack on there is exactly that, a headphone and microphone jack. So while I'm using this or someone else is using this, if I'm videoing them, I can put a headphone in the jack on the side of the do-it-all handle, and I can actually monitor the audio and make my audio adjustments before I ever start recording on the Pocket 2. Most mirrorless cameras, until you get into like the $700-800 range, don't have that as an option. They'll have a microphone jack, but they will not have a headphone jack. Really cool feature that no one has really mentioned anywhere about the do-it-all handle setup is that you can hook somebody up with the microphone, say you're doing an interview or something, and you can put headphones on, listen to it through the jack that's on the do-it-all handle. I can't say how awesome that is that it has that feature. It's pretty awesome. They have a lot of accessories for it. You can get all kinds of ND filters, and the ND filters are great for videography if you're trying to actually set your pro settings and make sure that you're keeping with the 180 shutter rule and do all of that stuff. And using ND filters is very useful for that. But another thing that the ND filters on this thing are very useful for that nobody really talks about either is doing long exposure photography of like waterfalls and stuff like that. I'll pop some up I've done right now. And you can capture some crazy long exposure photos with this guy, mainly because you have the ability to put ND filters on it, and it's super stable. You can almost handhold it for most of them. Like you can go upwards of like a second, 2 seconds and handhold it and still get a non-blurry image. That's awesome. If you try to do that with your phone, you definitely need a tripod, and you gotta touch it and be very gentle with how you touch it. Let that long exposure happen and so forth. But this thing takes some pretty cool long exposure stuff. You can also do motion time lapses, and I've seen some pretty cool stuff where people have time lapsed the sky over a period of time. Those are cool. I'd really like to get into doing some of that this summer while I'm out with it. I've been a recluse all winter, so you don't see me doing any of that stuff. Hyperlapse stuff with this is really fun. What else, guys? You tell me in the comments, what's your favorite feature about the Osmo Pocket 2? And I have one other thing I want to say that might be scaring some people about getting one in 2022. But tell me in the comments what you think. If some of the stuff I've said today is useful for you, then please hit that like button, and let's talk about something else that may scare somebody away from getting the Osmo Pocket 2. And that is that DJI released the Osmo Pocket 2 almost 2 years exactly to when it released the Pocket 1. Are they going to release a Pocket 3 this year? Or a Pocket Pro? Man, I really hope they jump it up to like a Pocket Pro, but I see that if they release the Pocket 3 or Pocket Pro, it's going to be quite a bit more expensive than this guy. So if you're looking for a camera right now, don't wait till November, which would be likely the time frame that the Pocket 3 or Pocket Pro would come out. Get this, get your use out of it, because I have used mine to the extent where like I got my money's worth out of this multiple times over. I would say it is worth getting now, and there is something that I promised you guys that I would mention that makes this even more worth it than ever before, and that is that recently Amazon has started selling the factory refurb versions of this. So you can basically get a like new used version of the Osmo Pocket 2 Creator Combo Kit for $100 less than you would get it new. So typically it's $500 or $499, but if you get the factory refurbs, it is $399. You get the wireless microphone that's worth almost half of that by itself, in my personal opinion. And you're getting a gimbal camera that has all these capabilities of all the stuff that I've done with this. Now, guys, if that doesn't speak to you, I don't know what does, but I will put affiliate links for this, some of the accessories I've used with it. I'll put the one down there for the refurb one, so you guys know that I do get a kickback if you buy from the affiliate links, but it's what makes it available for me to keep making these videos, and it doesn't charge you a dime more, not a penny more, not a fraction of a cent more to buy from my affiliate links. But it does help me out and helps me keep making these videos. If you want to learn more about the Pocket 2 and some of the stuff I've done with it over the last year and a half that I've owned it, check out the top playlist here. This is all my Pocket 2 stuff. And guys, go create with what you have. But if you're trying to upgrade, please take some advice from me and get something awesome like the Pocket 2. I'll see you next week. Post something. Have fun. Peace out. Love you guys.